All right, can you share with me your name?
Yes, my name is David Gwynn,
Okay. And are you a resident of Detroit?
a Detroit resident my whole life.
Okay. Okay. What can you say in terms about employment or business opportunities with the city or in the city?
Well, in the city, from my experience, it's a lot of things going on, supposedly, about this Detroiters back to work, going and getting into the trades.
Okay.
I went through a program called Access for All. I believe it was a 4-month program. The people who ran the program were I enjoyed them. I enjoyed being there. They were passionate about getting guys like myself into the trades. But once we went through the pre-apprenticeship program, it was if I remember right, I think it was 30, about 25 people in my particular class. We all made it through. We all were passionate about making it through. But out of that 25 to 30 people, I believe only maybe 3 people got hired. I was one of the first to get hired supposedly as a heavy equipment operator apprentice. I was supposed to start work. They never called me. They called me about 3 months after my date that I was supposed to get hired in at. That I was verbally committed to a company called CA Hall. They do a lot of the freeways. I ran into a lot of racist attitudes towards um, getting inner city black men and women, because it was women in the program as well, getting actually getting into the trade. So it was the people who ran it, the directors and the teachers,
The people who ran a training.
that ran the training.
So was the training in the city of Detroit?
Yes, it was in the city of Detroit.
Where was when it came time for the employment opportunity? Was it in the city of Detroit?
Yeah, we had it was all the unions, all the trade unions, from electrical to millwrights, the plumbers union, pipe fitters union, roofing union. Once again, the heavy equipment. Every trade was on board. Every trade donated towards this. But when it came, but from honestly, from my experience, it was 90% was political, and it was all for a show, because from my understanding, all the work that's going on in Detroit is supposed to be 51% supposed to be Detroit residents. Detroit residents supposed to have the opportunity. And that they raised the bar for us to get into it, but once we finished the program, the opportunity still wasn't there.
Okay.
It still wasn't there. So it left a lot of the majority of my classmates were very frustrated.
So let me ask you this: if you were to go and meet with some of the union folks, were those locations to meet with the unions in the city or outside the city?
Most of them were in the city. I
Okay.
mean, we actually trained um, down near downtown at the electrical union's hall.
Okay.
That's where a lot of our training consisted of. And of course, we went to Howe, to local 325, to their training facility, and we actually, it all sounded good, but when it came down to the gravy, the gravy wasn't there. They
Okay.
basically, it was for show. Most of it was for show, and it was very frustrating.
Okay. So now you have the skills in terms of at an apprenticeship level, but the employment opportunities didn't come to fruition. What would be some things that you would like to be able to do um, with the new skills that you have acquired?
Well, me per se, right now I'm working with DWSD, and honestly have a lot of opportunity right now for They are really trying to get people back to work. They trying to get city residents back to work. You know, so for me right now, and I also have a business of my own. So for me, it's not as bad. But a lot of the guys and ladies that I went to school with, they quit they minimum wage jobs to start these programs and put everything into these programs and put they all into them, did everything that they needed to do, and it was all for nothing. So it's kind of, it's kind of, it depends on where you are, but for the most part, if you don't have anything. Now this was 2 years ago. I'm not sure of if it's better. I will hope that it's maybe a little better now. I don't know. I don't think so personally, but I could be wrong.
Do you think there was any other training outside of understanding the skill? Was there any type of business training in terms of how to set up and create and operate a business? So that, I know you said you have your own business, but was there any training on how to plan the next 60 or 90 days after you have your skills, how to take advantage of opportunities?
No, it was strictly these pre-apprenticeship Detroit residents back to work programs are strictly supposedly to get you back in the workforce. There's no economic training or nothing about creating your own wealth or business or anything, at least the program that I went to.
Do you think that would have, having that information, been armed with that information, might have changed how you would have, you think you or some of your classmates would have had a different plan after you would have finished? Or do you think you were kind of focused and relying heavily on what opportunities were going to come from the class?
Well, I would say mostly everybody in there just wanted to get a good paying job in the skilled trades.
Okay.
I don't really think anyone was really looking on the business side. I was, but no one else that actually. A couple guys were talking about doing some. They were most of 80% of the people that was in the program already had been in the workforce as far as running their own carpentry business or roofing business or different things. So they just wanted to be able to get into a more structured something with benefits.
Okay.
And that's what I was looking for myself. I have a feasible business, but I was looking for something that I could do so I could start looking at a retirement plan.
Okay.
And
So you would have felt it would have been very beneficial to have someone come in to be able to help plan in terms of retirement, succession planning, and how to establish a business that could be a legacy for your family.
Yes, I think that's the biggest thing, because I know a lot of guys. I've been in the housing game for about 20 years now, and everybody that I know all kind of guys who are good at what they do. But honestly, the biggest problem is the economic side of it. Guys don't have retirement plans. When they out here making the money, we make the money, but just truthfully, a lot of us don't know the retirement side of it. And I also know older guys who made lots of money in skilled trades, having their own business while they were healthy. But a couple guys, now they not healthy and they not working, and they doing really bad now because they never invested any money. They just made the money and was good at what they did, but they never put any money aside. They just didn't know. It's sad, but it's true. That's what I run into.
All right, thank you, sir.